Who's still got that awesome Batman score stuck in their head? Like, the music, the movie was just as good, and fans desperately want more. The sequel to The Batman is on its way, and though there's still a long time for any updates, fans are sharing their predictions and thoughts online. In this video, we'll be talking about what fans want in The Batman 2. Also, how is James Gunn involved in this universe? First up, what do fans want in The Batman 2? The question is, what don't they want? Matt Reeves did such a great job with this detective and noir-based movie, the audience was simply amazed at how this sort of vibe is possible with Batman. The closest thing we got to a crime thriller like this one was Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, but even those movies are starting to feel inconsistent and outdated. No offense to the great director, these are just things fans have been thinking. Zack Snyder's Batman was a bit too action-y and relied heavily on Superman and other members of the Justice League because a solo project didn't see the light of day. On the other hand, this universe is strictly limited to the city of Gotham and all its horrors. The March release blew everyone's minds, starting from the opening monologue. Thursday, October 31st, the city streets are crowded for the holiday. Man, that's peak cinema right there. The fans' desire is that this universe doesn't involve any other DC hero apart from the ones in the Batman universe. This means people are open to introducing Robin in the sequel. They also find it fitting for this to be a trilogy with a satisfying ending. There's no need for an extended universe with a bunch of other characters making their way to help Batman. This is the pace Reeves should maintain for the next two films. There's so much he can do with it. Up next, what villains do fans want in the sequel? This is such a big debate that we'll have to divide it into a few sections of the video. Don't worry, Batman's row gallery is so massive you won't feel the need to skip. Right off the bat, fans are calling for the obvious villain for Bruce to face in the sequel. No, it's not the Joker, but rather Hush, or the Court of Owls instead. Hush would be a great threat to introduce in the sequel because he fits the serial killer atmosphere of the universe perfectly. In the comics, his real identity is unknown and there are different ways that DC reveals it. Matt could find a twist in all this and provide a great story of the Caped Crusader trying to unmask the man wrapped around in bandages. Now, the Court of Owls is another great comic character to adapt into live action since both Robert Pattinson and Paul Dano said they're fans of them in one of their interviews. But they're sorta like the supergroup that needs a bit of setting up to finally introduce into the universe, you know, like Thanos or even the Joker. It's too soon for them to face Batman, but we wouldn't mind the court appearing in the third part. After all, this is expected to be a trilogy. Following up with Barry Keoghan's Joker. Reeves released a deleted scene after the film's theatrical release to give fans a taste of the Joker in this universe. Though Barry made a cameo in the movie alongside the Riddler, it was just a silhouette and we didn't really get a good look at him. The clip uploaded on Vimeo is just a geek stream come true. Bruce and Joker sit to talk at Arkham Asylum, discussing the Riddler's plans and how to overcome them. Keoghan did a tremendous job with the 6 minutes he had, and as unexpected as the casting is, we just know he'll do a great job if he were ever to be the main antagonist in one of the upcoming movies. Then again, the Clown Prince of Crime is another huge character from Batman's Rogues and would only do well in the closing chapters of this universe. Fans would also love it if the director kept this somewhat friendly yet hostile dynamic between the two, where Joker gives a maniacal perspective on what's going on in the city. Reeves has already confirmed that the Joker will not be the upcoming antagonist in the sequel. Fans on Twitter have used the way the first film left things off and tried to assume where the plot would head next. Let's talk about the way things ended in the first movie. Viewers thought the movie would end as soon as they caught the Riddler after Falcone was shot outside the Iceberg Lounge. Oops, spoiler warning. Edward Nashton got what he wanted, exposed the corrupt politicians and law enforcers of Gotham, and flooded the city to destroy everything and kill Mayor Bella Real. Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne parted ways in a very Fast and Furious-like manner. Some of us expected that one song by Wiz Khalifa would play in the background. Instead, we got Michael Giacchino's gorgeous score, which was amazing from start to finish and complemented every scene of the film. Gotham is in ruins and in process of rebuilding from the disaster, which will probably be funded by one of the popular billionaires in the city. As confirmed by Matt, this will allow the underground to strike back and reach higher powers, while those who try to stop them will be recovering from the floods. An example of such is Penguin, who watched the damage from afar and will probably be up to no good with the drug he was supplying. No doubt Drops will have a bigger role in the sequel since it's both lethal and addictive. While Gotham is trying to rebuild itself, let's dive further into the possible villains that fans want to see on the big screen. Now for more villains fans want in the sequel. Hush and the Court of Owls aside, people want more grounded antagonists for the world's greatest greatest detective to face, Reeves did a great job with this version of the Riddler, which the Zodiac Killer inspired. Can you imagine how silly Paul Dano would have looked wearing a suit with a bunch of question marks printed all over? Mr. Freeze is a strong contender for the next big bad because since the city is flooded, it gives the perfect landscape for him to attack. It's basic physics, isn't it? Water freezes and forms ice, which is also a favorable environment for Oswald Cobblepot, well, at least his comic version. This iteration of the Cape Crusader and his rogues is also a great way to give a decent Scarecrow for once. Cillian Murphy was a great Dr. Jonathan Crane in Batman Begins, but not a good Scarecrow. This would also add a pinch of horror to the universe, which would collide with Batman being a symbol of fear at the beginning of the movie. Bane is always an option to use when all else fails, but then again, his character requires a bit of CGI work, whenever his muscles grow big using the venom teased in the film's third act. Visual effects should be kept at a minimum with Robert Pattinson's Batman because we wouldn't take him fighting a huge CGI Clayface in the middle of the city seriously. Last but not least, official details of the sequel. Matt Reeves has confirmed that he's yet to submit a script to Warner Brothers for the next chapter of Pattinson's Masked Vigilante. The same cast will be reprising their roles, including Rob, Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, Andy Serkis, and even Paul Dano. There haven't been any new casting updates, so more characters are yet to be revealed. There's a possibility that some of these will be introduced through the spin-off series about Penguin, starring Colin Farrell. As for the release date, the director said we won't be seeing these stars return in their costumes until late 2024. So sit tight and relax while crossing your fingers for a twist in the story to be revealed like a certain boy wonder. Moving on to James Gunn's involvement in the franchise. First and foremost, what did Gunn say? A rumor surfaced on social media about the new co-presidents taking over DC and including Matt Reeves and his universe in the franchise. Fans were worried that Pattinson would have to be involved with the rest of the Justice League, but at this point, who even is part of that league? They've literally scrapped every future project like Man of Steel 2, Aquaman 3, and Wonder Woman 3. Regarding the rumor, the Guardians of the Galaxy director and co-president of DC tweeted that the source is untrue. Yes, you can exhale now, your favorite Cape Crusader is free from the shackles of a universe and its current mess. Reeves also quoted Gunn's tweet agreeing with the fact that either James or Peter Safran won't touch his movies. Phew, that was a close one. Let's talk about why the Batman should remain a standalone hero. There's a pretty straightforward answer to this. Why don't you Google how much Joker made at the box office? Not only is Rob's Batman being a standalone good for the studio economically, fans absolutely love this dark and gritty version of the character. It made close to $1 billion at the box office, and with the hype that will erupt in a few years, we can imagine these numbers going even higher. Plus, to put it bluntly, the DCEU is struggling, nothing is certain over there, and we know for sure that if Gunn and Safran acquired this trilogy, they would have scrapped it 2 weeks after the announcement. This reminded us of Henry Cavill, who quit The Witcher to play his favorite superhero, but was let go 2 months later. Poor guy. Lastly, the future of these worlds. Reeves said that the Batman will be a trilogy and Pattinson has a contract for 2 more films. The DCEU, on the other hand, even Batman doesn't have the answer to that. Whatever direction it heads into, fans hope it's worthwhile after seeing all of their favorite characters portrayed by their perfect actors getting axed. Not literally, of course. We promise no human was harmed in the making of this franchise. And that's the end of this video, my friends. Please let us know what you want in the sequel of The Batman. Let us know in the comments below. As always, leave a like and hit the subscribe button to see more of our content, and we'll see you in the next time. Thanks for watching.